What's up, everybody? I'm Clayton. Welcome back to Ages of Film. Today we are reviewing Tombstone from 1993. This is a Western directed by George P. Cosmatos and starring Kurt Russell and Val Kilmer. What's up, everybody? Hope you're doing well wherever you are. I just want to say a few things. Before we get into this review. One of them is thank you to all my new subscribers for being here, hitting that subscribe button, coming over and kicking it with me here in Ages of Film. Thank you very much. Also, if you're new to my channel, please hit that like button. And if you're enjoying the content, give me a sub. Helps out the channel. So yeah, do that. Also, I'm gonna leave a few YouTube profiles down here at the bottom so you guys can go check them out. Movies and Beyond with Michael, The Bearded Entertainment with Eric, Brian Lomax's movie channel, and Peter Anthony's production. All of these channels are amazeballs. They've all got badass content over there. So yeah, go over to each of their channels, give them a sub, give them a thumbs up, and enjoy all of their awesome content. Because why not? You're here kicking it with me and hopefully enjoying this content. Go over and enjoy their content. So yeah, do that. That out of the way, I know it's been a minute. Guys, I apologize. My schedule is crazy busy right now, being in film school, having a full-time job, having other activities on the side. Things get crazy, and I don't necessarily have all the time to do, movie reviews. Although that would be nice, it's just not possible right now. So I'm putting these out as often as I can. Do bear with me on that. I really appreciate all you guys for being here. So yeah, it doesn't go unnoticed. I can promise you that it doesn't go unnoticed. I really do appreciate all of you. All right, let's get into Tombstone. Haven't reviewed a Western film yet on my channel, so here you go. If you're a Western fan, which I am, I do love a good Western movie. I think part of that just has to do growing up. My grandfather and my father were both big Bonanza fans. They're both big, John Wayne fans. My grandfather actually got to meet John Wayne. So yeah, I kind of grew up with, Westerns on the television a lot growing up. And there's also just something about that time period, the 1800s, out west, that is just really appealing to me, and always fun. I love that setting and that, that time in history. Yeah, so I love a good Western. Not all Westerns are good. I acknowledge that there are some, some Westerns I probably won't go back to, but when they're done right and they're done well, they're bangers. So, and Tombstone, is a banger. It's a heavy hitter, man. It's a heavy hitter. So yeah, I thought I'd go in and review Tombstone. This is a classic for Westerns, and rightfully so. It's probably, I would say, the most quotable Western movie. I don't know of any other Western movie that gets quoted more than Tombstone. I mean, there's so many quotable lines in this movie. You're no Daisy at all. I'm your Huckleberry. I hope you die. My hypocrisy only goes so far. Doesn't anyone have the guts to fight for blood? Just line after line, you could just go down. You could almost just throw a dart at any scene in this movie and find a quotable line in the film. It's so quotable. The dialogue is so well written in this movie. And the thing is, it also fits the characters. That's the thing. Like the dialogue fits the characters. I can imagine these characters saying these things. It doesn't, like, you watch some movies and you're listening to the dialogue and you start thinking, I don't know that this character would say that line. Like it just, the dialogue doesn't quite fit the character in some movies. It just doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel like it fits the character. That's not what you get in Tombstone. In this movie, the dialogue is brilliantly written, not only because it's incredibly quotable, but also because it fits the characters. You absolutely believe that these characters would say these lines. So very well written dialogue in this movie. A very well written story in this movie. You get the plot points are well handled. You get from point A to point B logically, reasonably. There's no big plot holes here or anything like that. It's a well written script, and I think there's also a good story there. It's got some heart. It's a story about friendship and loyalty. The relationship between Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday it's beautifully told. And by the end of the movie, spoiler alert, when Wyatt goes to visit Doc on his deathbed, that's an emotional scene, and you feel it because you've invested with these characters. You've bought into the story. You've seen how loyal of a friend both of these guys have been to each other. And so when Doc's about to go, it hits, emotionally. It has that emotional punch that I look for in film. And part of that is on the writing and just how that story is played out, how it's told. But another part of it is on the talent and the actors themselves playing these characters. It's phenomenal acting. And the acting across the board by everyone is just spot on. Great performances. There's not a bad performance in this movie. Not a single bad performance in this movie. Everyone brings it. Everyone just kills it, man. Great performances. Bill Paxton does a great job playing Morgan Earp, Wyatt's younger brother. Virgil Earp, his older brother, is played by oh man, I'm so bad with names. You would know him if you saw him. He does a great job. The Cowboy Gang, everyone in there, Curly Bill does a great job. But Ringo, played by John Bean, who is in probably most famously in Terminator, the first Terminator movie, he does a great job playing Ringo in the movie. And yeah, just great performances by everyone. Kurt Russell plays Wyatt Earp. And I gotta say, this is the first movie I think of when I think of Kurt Russell. Everyone has like that certain movie that they think of when they think of a certain actor. Like for me, when I think of Christian Bale, I instantly think Batman, just because I'm, a huge Batman fan. When I think of Arnold Schwarzenegger, I immediately think of Terminator. When I think of Sylvester Stallone, I instantly think Rocky. When I think of Kurt Russell, I instantly think Tombstone. Not that this is necessarily his best performance, although he's phenomenal in this role, but because this is my favorite Kurt Russell film. And I love some Kurt Russell movies. That should tell you how much I love Tombstone, because I love a number of Kurt Russell movies. But yeah, this is this is the Kurt Russell movie I've seen the most. And this is my favorite Kurt Russell movie. So this is the movie that my mind goes to first when I think of Kurt Russell. He's brilliant in this movie as Wyatt Earp. Quite frankly, and I've seen some other iterations of Wyatt Earp in film. I don't think any of them hold a candle to Kurt Russell, quite frankly. He's brilliant in the movie. But you can't talk about Tombstone without talking about Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday. This guy just blitz it, man. Just a truly iconic performance by Val Kilmer. I think it's his best performance of his career. Quite frankly, he should have gotten an Oscar for his performance here. At very minimum, an Oscar nomination, but I think he should have gotten the statue, the trophy this year. But that's the Academy for you. They're known for screwing talent over. But yeah, it's an Oscar level performance by Val Kilmer. Absolutely. He is so good as Doc Holliday, so believable. Like when I watch this movie, I don't see Val Kilmer, the actor. I see Doc Holliday, the character. He becomes that character in this film. He's so believable, so dark, very dark character. But yeah, just so iconic, so iconic. And just the way that he carries himself in each scene, he commands the stage. He commands, the scene. When he's there, you are glued. You give your full attention to what he's doing. He brings the intensity in his eyes. There's his first meetup with Ringo, the first time that those two meet at the saloon. Oh, do you talk about tension in a scene, man? It's so good. That is probably my favorite scene of the movie. I know a lot of people love, the final shootout with him and Ringo at the end, and that is a great scene. But for me, their first meetup at the saloon is probably my favorite scene. I think it handles the tension the best. It makes you on edge. Like you're doing this, you're leaning in, you're so glued to what's gonna happen. These are the two best gunslingers, the two most deadly guns in their first meetup. There's some sarcastic remarks exchanged back and forth between the two. They're kind of having a competition of wits going on, a battle of wits, and then it kind of escalates a little bit. Doc is drunk. He's had a few drinks, and so you don't know and he's kind of a loose cannon. You don't know what he's going to do, what he's going to say. And then Ringo's also a loose cannon. You don't know what he's going to do or say. And the tension in that scene and the intensity in Doc's eyes by Val Kilmer in that scene is so good, man. So good. And Kurt Russell's great in that scene because as Wyatt, he's sitting there at the poker table and he's just watching this interaction. And he knows Doc. He knows Doc very well. But you can kind of see the expression on Wyatt's face during this interaction, and you could just tell Wyatt's thinking, "Don't do it, Doc. Don't make a scene. Don't make a scene." And it's actually kind of funny because he knows his boy, man. He knows Doc, but yeah, just so good, man. It's a great movie, man. The acting is phenomenal. Val Kilmer, like I said, should have got a statue for this performance. It's one of my favorite movie characters of all time. He's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. The directing is great by George P. Cosmatos. He's the credited director, but he wasn't the original director. But I think you have to have directed a certain percentage of a film in order to be the credited director on the movie. So he directed enough of the film to be the credited director, but he was not the original director. There were some complications in the production side of things. They had to, change directors a couple times. The movie almost didn't get made, but thankfully it did, and it's a banger, man. The costumes are great. The production designs is just on point. All practical effects here. The sound is good. The score is good. Enhances the scenes, enhances the tension, and it's just brilliantly done. It's a masterpiece, quite frankly. As far as negatives go, I don't really have any negatives, guys. For me, this is a perfect film. It's 5 stars is my rating for Tombstone. Yeah. I don't think any film is objectively perfect. I think if you look hard enough, deep enough, you can find something to critique about any movie. But that's not what film is about to me. I don't think that film is just about how technically well made a film can be. To me, film is ultimately about experience, and the experience that you as the viewer have with the movie. What kind of connection do you have with the film? What is your subjective experience with the movie? And if a movie gives you a perfect experience, it's a perfect film. And for me, I have a perfect experience with Tombstone. There's nothing about this movie that I would change. There's nothing that I would tamper with. It's perfection as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah, 5-star film. It is my favorite Western of all time. Tombstone. This is my favorite Western of all time. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I own Blu-ray copy of it. I'm wearing a Doc Holliday shirt right now for this movie. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. So, yeah, there you go. Those are my thoughts on Tombstone. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Have you seen this movie? What do you think of this movie? Who's your favorite character? What's your favorite line? What would you rate this movie? Anything and everything that you want to mention about Tombstone in the comment section, let me know. Also, feel free to leave other movies that you want me to review in the comment section as well. So, thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, until next time, kick it and rock on.